Did you know that there is one major problem that will prevent most cases of knee pain from getting better if it isn't fixed? In this video, I'm going to reveal what that thing is and how to fix it. If you don't know who I am, my name is Harlow. I'm the Over-Fifties specialist physio here at HT Physio in Farnham. And today I'm going to be showing you the one thing that needs to be fixed if you want your knee pain to get better. Now, most knee pain is what we would call mechanical, which means that it's due to too much stress or too much strain happening on a certain part of the joint. And this is the case if you've got an injury, or if you've got arthritis, or if you've got a meniscus tear, or some other kind of degenerative change in the knee. No matter what's causing the underlying problem, if you have too much stress and too much strain on certain parts of the knee joint, it's going to be painful. So with that said, there is one area of the body that's responsible more than anything else for the most stress and strain on the knee if it's not working properly. So the one area of the body I'm talking about are the glutes, and these are the muscles in your hip that make up the back area of the hip, the buttock region. And if these muscles are weak, they cause excess stress and strain on the knee joint, and they can lead to pain. So I'm going to show you exactly how this happens now, and then I'm going to show you 5 different exercises you can use to fix weak glutes. So now I'm going to show you how weak glutes can cause knee pain and stop it from getting better. Now, the glutes have a very important job when we walk. They keep our pelvis level and they keep our leg in alignment. So when we walk with good glutes, what happens is our legs move up and down in a straight line. So they move like this. We don't have our leg falling in or outwards, and our pelvis stays very level as well. So we don't get dropping from side to side. Now, in people with weak glutes, what we see instead is their pelvis drops to one side and their thigh bone rolls inwards. So if you walk with weak glutes, what tends to happen, and I'm exaggerating here, but we have, instead of a straight leg, we have a knee that does what we call valgus, okay? And that means that the knee is rolling inwards, and all the pressure, instead of going directly down the leg, is now going across the leg. So what that does is, if you can imagine the line of force, it's going across the knee like this, and there's a lot of shearing force and also a lot of pressure on all of the structures that live on the inside of the knee. And it can also cause pinching on the outside of the knee. So no part of the knee is safe when you've got weak glutes. So instead of having you walk like this because you've got weak glutes, when we strengthen these muscles, we can get the leg in alignment again so that none of that extra pressure goes on the inside or the outside of the knee. So that's why it's so important what we're talking about today, and that's why if you have an injury and it's not getting better, it could be because this is happening on a small level all the time, and it's just too much for the knee to handle. So let's have a look at how we get the glutes stronger now to prevent this from happening. So now we know why weak glutes can cause knee pain. Let's have a look at my 5 favorite glute exercises to strengthen them. So the first one involves a use of one of these very tough resistance bands. I've just got a tough one and I've tied it in a loop, but you can buy them very cheaply online. And this exercise is a great one for people who don't really have much strength to stand up, or they've got very painful knees. It's a really good way to get started. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the band and put it around both legs one at a time. If you can't get your leg through it because your knee's very stiff, you might want to start with it as a length and then tie it when it's already there. And you want to have the band about halfway, and you want to have the band slightly above your knees, crossing around your thighs like this. You want to have your head and your shoulders relaxed and your feet planted on the bed. And you can do this exercise on a bed or on the floor, whichever's more comfy for you. So when you're in this position, we've got a little bit of tension on the band already, and all we're going to do is we're just going to use our hip muscles here to push the band apart as if to open it up, and hold for a couple of seconds and then bring it back in. And then we repeat again, so out like this, hold for a couple of seconds and then allow it back in. So out again, hold for a couple of seconds and then allow it back in. And what I'm noticing here is these muscles here in the buttocks are starting to activate, because these are the muscles that are responsible for this abduction type movement, which helps us to strengthen the glutes. So when you're doing this exercise, what you want to do is hold for 5 seconds and then relax it back in. And I usually recommend to most people they start off doing 10 in a row at least 3 times per day to get this area working. And if you start off with very weak glutes or you've got very painful knees, this is a fantastic one to start with. But if you find that that is quite easy, that's doable, you can do 10 repetitions and not really feel much, then the next step is to make the exercise slightly harder. So we start in exactly the same position. So we've got the band around our knees, a little bit of tension on it. So if we relaxed, our knees would come together. And we're going to put the tension on the band again. We're going to flatten our tummy down into the bed, hands by sides, and we're just going to push through our feet and lift up into a bridge. Now, when we're at the top, we're going to push out again into the band. And then we're going to relax the knees back in and bring everything back down to the bed. Okay, so we call this a bridge with a glute band, and it's a fantastic way at engaging all 3 of the gluteal muscles. So I'll show you again. We go out, we push down and come up. At the top, we go out again, and then we come in and then back down. This is a brilliant way to combine a lot of different muscle groups. This is what we call a gross movement. So we're using lots of different muscles. It's a compound exercise, so there's lots of different joints involved. Out again at the top, back in and back down. So it's a fantastic way to strengthen your glutes if you're not very comfortable weight bearing or doing squats and things like that. Now, the third exercise we're going to do to strengthen our glutes is called the clam. And basically the clam involves you lying on your side and activating your glutes to lift your top knee up in the air. So I'll show you how it works. Now, there are a couple of common mistakes that people make with the clam. The first one is people often allow themselves to roll back like this. They do it incorrectly and they don't work the right muscles. And the second mistake that people often make is they don't actually set themselves up in the right position to begin with. So to show you how to set up, what you want to do is you want to roll slightly further forward than feels natural. And you can use your hand on this arm just to support you. So you should have a little bit of your body weight going through this hand. Now you want to have both of your heels together, and you want probably a 90-degree angle here at your hips and a 90-degree angle here at your knees. So this is your starting position. Now what you're going to do is you're going to keep your body weight forward, and as you do that, you're going to lift that top knee. So you can see that everything in my body is perfectly still apart from my top leg. Now, this is preventing me from rolling backwards, and it also means I'm much more likely now to feel it here in the correct position. So already, because I'm keeping my form very strict, I can feel that area of the hip working. You can see it's actually a very small movement. The mistake people make is they do this to make the movement bigger, but you're completely eliminating any emphasis from the glutes. So it's not having a positive effect on the glutes, and it won't help the knee as a result. But if you keep yourself forward, you're causing everything to be done by the glutes, which means that the exercise is going to be effective. So the clam is a brilliant way to strengthen up the glutes, and it can really help with knee pain because it's stopping that leg from falling inwards by strengthening the muscles that pull it back out again. Now, the fourth exercise we're going to do for stronger glutes, for less knee pain, is the hip abduction. So that looks very similar to the clam, but instead of having our knees bent, we're now going to have them straight. And again, we're going to use exactly the same principles than we did with the clam. So you're going to come slightly further forward than feels natural. You can put a bit of weight through your hand like this. You keep your top leg straight, and you're going to lift your leg up in the air and ever so slightly behind you. and then come back down. So I'm going to show you again, and this is one of my favorite glute exercises if it's done correctly. Now, the mistakes people make when they do this exercise, and we'll start from the bottom and work our way up. Number one, they don't lead with the heel. So if you can see what I'm doing with my heel at the moment, my heel is the uppermost part of the leg. I'll show you a different angle in a moment. The next thing that people don't do is they don't move slightly backwards as well, because if you move slightly backwards, you engage your glutes better. What people tend to do is they drift forwards, which takes the emphasis completely away from the glutes, so got to be strict. The next thing people do is they tend to roll backwards like this, and again, that stops it from working as it should. So you need to be very strict with what your upper body is doing. You keep it slightly further forward than feels natural, and you want to lead with the heel and take it slightly behind you. And you should feel this muscle here really tighten up as you do this exercise. To show you another angle, so I'm tipping forward like this, and I've got my heel leading towards the sky. I've got my leg straight. I'm keeping my body in one position, and my leg is also going slightly out behind me, and I'm squeezing this muscle here at the top. That's what I want to feel. Now, if you've got back pain, you want to try and keep this area of the spine relaxed, so your back should stay relaxed. You can put your hand on it if you're not sure, and it should be this which you feel tensing up. That means you're doing it correctly. So for the final exercise I'm going to show you, we're going to take exactly what we did in the previous exercise and just do it from a standing position. And the reason we want to do this is because then we can use this exercise throughout the day without having to go and find a place to lie down. So this is a really good portable exercise. It can be done anywhere, and it's great for strengthening the glutes. So for this exercise, you just need something like a wall to hold on to. So I'm going to use the corner of two walls like this, and I'm going to be working this glute here as if I'm going to be trying to help rehab this knee, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to take all of our weight over onto the leg that we're not working. So this is the leg we're going to work here on the left, and we're basically just going to take our leg out to the side and slightly behind us. Again, we're leading with the heel, and the toes remain facing forward, and then come back in. Now, if you watch my back, what I'm trying to do here is keep my back as tall as possible whilst keeping my toes and my leg facing forward. So we're going out to the side and back in a slightly diagonal movement without moving the spine at all. So if we're doing this exercise correctly, you don't have to do many repetitions until you start to feel it here in this muscle, the target glute at the top. So the area you should feel it is just below the belt line, and you want to basically keep doing repetitions until it starts to become tiring. So as if you've had a bit of a workout here. And I often tell people to do this exercise before they walk, before they do stairs, before they start to go out on a run, if that's what they like to do, because it does help to activate the glutes and can also help to prevent knee pain. So those are my 5 best glute exercises. So those are some of my favorite glute exercises that can seriously help with knee pain. Remember, if your knee pain is not going away, it might be because you've got weak glutes. And for many people, if you sort the weak glute problem, the knee pain simply disappears. So give this a try at home if it's safe for you to do so, and I hope it helps. If you found this video useful, please hit like and subscribe to the channel if you've enjoyed it. And if you want to get more from me, you can pick up a copy of my book. It's called Thriving Beyond 50, and you can find it on Amazon using the link below. It's got loads more tips, tricks, and strategies like the ones we spoke about in this video. Anyway, I hope that's been useful. Please leave a comment below if it has, and I look forward to speaking to you on the next one.